I'm the flyest motherfucker at the kickback. Not a competition, little boy with a wrist that. Meet me in the bathroom, I don't want to chit chat.
Check.
Yeah,
Good?
we're good.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome to the podcast, everybody. We are already talking. This is Jay Bowers,
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning right now, actually.
Kickback podcast early in the morning. It's decently early. It's 10
decently.
o'clock. How you been, bro? Jay Bowers, introduce yourself, bro.
I've been good, bro. You know, for those who haven't seen me before, my name is Jay Bowers. I do music. I work at Erger Studios doing music as well. And I also just started a podcast that you and I were talking
That's exactly what we were just talking about. You started your own podcast.
Yeah, dude.
What's it called again?
It's called The Roast Podcast. So I can't take full credit for it because I worked with these two guys, Jacob and Miguel, and they've been very fun to work with. And
How did you meet Jacob and Miguel?
just with our jobs, with our 9 to 5s.
Like you guys work at the same
yeah,
spot?
we all worked at the same spot. And then one thing led to another. We would do that, and then we would go out drinking, and then we would just talk shit. We're all on Call of Duty talking shit.
Hanging out. Yeah, that's how it started. That's
And then
exactly how it started.
I think it was Jacob and Miguel were the ones that were like, dude, imagine if we had like microphones to us and talking shit. And I was like, we're going to get canceled.
Yeah.
And we would talk about it. Years later, they texted me like, no, we're serious. And I was like, oh, you guys are for real?
Like dead ass.
And they're like, I'm dead serious. I was like, well, I know a spot. So we were talking about it. And then they were actually like 100% dialed into it. And I was like, okay.
They wanted to podcast?
Yeah. And they wanted to know the technical side of it. So I was just like, okay, so what we need to do is meet at my house. We're going to have a meeting.
Right.
We're going to go over certain notes that I took. We're going to talk about our plans. We're going to talk about how we're filming, etc. We're going to try to follow our schedule, which is, you know, every other week. And
Okay.
sometimes it's not that easy because of especially with like we barely did episode 3 yesterday, but we also were supposed to do episode 4, and we talked about it in this episode. So whoever releases first, either your episode or the Roast Podcast, will explain. I'm going to explain it here anyways. We were supposed to do episode 4, right?
Okay.
When we did episode 3, I had like a hectic day and a week, and Kenny had called me, and I was just went on this whole fucking rant, dude.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is what made it funnier. And I couldn't be mad anymore. I had to laugh. The one thing that kind of keeps my mind at ease is writing music, editing stuff, and working on the podcast.
Right.
Because I edit the entire podcast. So everything you see there, the shorts and all that, that's all me. Just like how you do it, that's all me.
The editing process.
Yeah, so I literally will spend a whole week editing that podcast.
Takes a while, huh?
I enjoy it because I'll have music in the background and I'm just like, cool. And
Once you catch that vibe, you start flowing with it, right?
The harder part for me is the shorts. Because
Yes,
I have
I
to
hate
get the
doing
clips.
shorts.
I hate it, but I love it because I get to add effects to it and subtitles. But
It's so funny that you say that because I'm the same way. Like, I don't like doing the shorts 'cause it's like, oh, I have to grab the piece of the stuff that I already did. It has to go and do
it's a
that extra
very
stuff.
complex thing for me. So I'm very meticulous. Especially with Final Cut, I will because I have 2 cameras at Ergie's, but I can send 2 copies of one angle with me and Miguel, and I send it to my phone. I crop it with my face and just his face.
Right. You like,
and then I
scale it
got
in?
Jacob's, where Jacob's is just him, so it's a
Right.
little more zoomed in, so it's easier. And then I stack them up on top of each other, and I make the cuts.
Right.
And it's easy. It became easier after that. So I was like, okay, I followed a system.
So exactly. You found a system that is working for you.
It was really fun because I tell the guys, I was like, don't stress about anything. If you see anything with the clips, the shorts, let me know what timing or what segment that we talk about or what topic that you guys think is gonna be funny, and we'll go. Sometimes I'll pick them. Sometimes we all pick them.
So how does your podcast work? Like, how do you plan out your podcast? How do you have like a certain vision of how the episode's gonna go?
So we planned out. How far did we do it? 6 or 7 episodes of topics.
Okay.
And at first we had 9 topics per episode, but I was like, I don't want to bombard it with so many topics to where we're speed talking.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's do it at 6. And that was before we even officially like aired. And Jacob goes, I'm down. Like, we'll do it. Like, the guys are open to it. They know that I have a little bit more knowledge about time consumption with that, but I'm not a fucking expert.
Yeah.
But we talked about it, and we did 6 topics each. And the 6th topic is we always talk about the best things in life for us throughout the week, day, the month. Everything can change.
The best things in life?
Yeah. So, and Jacob's the one that came up with that topic because majority of the podcast is very comedic. because it's fully, and Ergie will tell you, it's fucking organic.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're not pulling strings
Is
to
Ergie
try
in the
to.
studio just watching you guys while you podcast?
There's times where he's around. I think our very first episode, he was there because they had a rehearsal room booked, so he was there.
Okay.
But he doesn't go in. It's usually just us three and Kenny, because Kenny's working on the vocals, and after that, Kenny will touch it up, master it, just like I'm working on music, and he'll touch it up and send it out. But Ergie will tell us, like, he'll put 2 cents in, which is cool because we're all family. We all talk about it, and being able to welcome those two into that group, just on a different thing, and they feel welcomed and stuff, and they love it. But Ergie was like, dude, you guys sound very organic. You guys aren't forcing yourselves to be funny, which is really good because this is us every day. This was us at work.
No, and it's really nice when it is organic.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point where sometimes you do feel like you're forcing it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't even want to do it.
And that's how it is. It's like, we literally just talked about yesterday about loving what you do.
Right.
And it was towards the end, and I talked about it towards the end of the episode, where it was like, if you don't love what you do, then why are you doing it? Right. And I was like, dude, think about it with music. Music is a pain in the ass when it comes to making sure you're getting the views that you want. But if you're not focused on the views and you're just like, I'm putting out content, everything will fall into place. If you don't love that process, then you don't love what you do, then you shouldn't be doing it. And I made it clear. The podcast, I'm a advertising nerd when it comes to that. So like, especially TikTok, and I'm pretty sure you know that. And when you're advertising on TikTok is like here when it comes to watching your views go up.
Yeah, just
because it's all authentic. And TikTok is like, it's easy to grasp, right? So
just upload and let it go.
Just upload it, and if you want to get your advertisements in, get for those advertisements. But I don't advertise on YouTube, and I don't advertise on Instagram. Yeah, those are genuine, without advertisements. Full go.
Like when you hit the little promote button or something.
The promote button.
I've never used that.
TikTok is that one. That's the one that's going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
And I knew because we had 2 clips that are over 10K already, and that's just paying for 5 days of advertisement, fully authentic. Everyone's there. Nobody's a spam account, as far as I know, but everyone loves it, and they're genuine accounts.
Yeah, because I've not really on mine, but on my dad's For You page, I've always seen that it comes up and it says sponsored content right underneath it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you get those a lot because you're getting a lot of creators, but they've got like 400 views. They're not huge creators, but they've got good stuff. They just actually spend the time and spend the money to promote it.
And honestly, it's just a simple $35 for 5 days, and you'll get the views you want. If you want to spend more, you spend more, but in this economy, you can only do so much. And the one that we recently did, we call it the fat friend video because it was Miguel's sister.
I saw that.
Calling Jacob the fat friend.
Yeah.
And that is at 17,000 on TikTok.
So that's like your first video that blew up?
That's the first video was our friend Tino eating a hot dog at Dodger Stadium. And that's a genuine story, which we were all slightly buzzed, and we were at the bar, and I'm airdropping a picture of Tino eating a hot dog. And it was genuine because I was like, oh, and I started pressing the button. And we're all crying, laughing because people are just like, what the fuck is this like popping up on my phone? I mean, you've seen airdrop pictures or files and stuff.
It's just some random photo.
Pops up right in front. So it was just a picture. And my friend Tino doesn't have an iPhone, so he doesn't know how airdrop works. And he's busting up like, what the fuck is everyone laughing at me for? And then we show him, and he's like, oh, you're fucked up, dude. So that was like, dude, the stories that we can tell that are genuine, they're authentic. It's like, dude, people are like, oh my god, these guys are they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And we're all about love and stuff, so it's really cool. And the process of the editing the videos is like hectic, but
and also the genuineness between you guys, it gives a sense of relativity.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, that's me with my friends. We do some stupid shit like that too.
And that's what people were saying. People were talking about it with I forgot with what clip it was. We do like we'll say the dumbest things. And I remember asking, like, we did one about the playlist, about a playlist when you're with a chick or something like that and you're about to hook up. And I was like asking him before we hit record.
Oh, the naughty playlist.
The naughty playlist. And I was like, is this a bit or are we doing this for real? He goes, what do you mean? I was like, so we're actually having a playlist, right? And I made the playlist on the spot.
Shit. Okay.
And
what was on it?
I think it was I'm trying to remember. 773 Love by Jeremiah, One of my good friends, she lives in Toronto, Unamia. I forgot what song it was. I don't know. She has really good music. Oh, Better Care. I think Better Care. And I forgot a couple other things. But I was like typing and I was like, all right, is this a bit? Because I'm going to make some stupid shit right now. and he didn't, he goes, I mean, if you want. And then when we hit record and I was like, they didn't know anything about Cotton Eye Joe. So their reaction was like, oh God, like that was legit authentic. Like I'm not telling them anything.
What would be another song that you would put on that playlist that they would never expect?
Like a funny song or a legit, like just like something that ties into Cotton Eye Joe type of
I think for
comedy.
shits and giggles, like you're already in the bedroom with her, and then it just plays, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, what song would that be?
Which the one I literally just popped up in my head? I was bumping like early 2000 bangers on the way here. Back That Ass Up by Juvenile. Back that ass up. Just get rowdy in there, dude.
Yeah,
but
get wild.
What's funny is a couple people thought that it was like, no one thought it was 100% like, this isn't him. He wouldn't do that shit.
Yeah,
but then a couple people were like, oh, so you play like that?
Oh, you're a
I was
fucking
like,
freak.
That's your play. I was like, no, it was a joke. I was like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, first of all, I'm an oldies guy. I love oldies, but I was like, I won't play fucking Cotton Eye Joe for one time in the bed. Like I don't do that. But it was pretty funny to do because nobody heard it. Kenny didn't hear it. The guys didn't know. I was like, I'm gonna make.
You're on demon mode.
I was like, I'm on demon mode. I'm gonna catch him off guard. So I was like, okay, let's do it. Like there was another clip. So this is the part that sucks about filming episode 3 and then refilming episode 3, but it was pretty funny. So Jacob fully described a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
And like a fidget spinner. And his version of a fidget spinner is a petite Latina girl. And I was like, why are you calling them fidget spinners? And he explains. So we're like, okay. So the next episode, on episode 3.
Was his explanation like valid?
It was valid. And I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But I went on Amazon and I bought 3 5-pack fidget spinners, generic ass fidget spinners. I took them out the box. I put them in my backpack with my laptop and my SD cards and all that. Because I take the SD cards and because I got to take them home
To edit all the
and
footage.
just
and
edit
stuff?
all the footage. So I take them everywhere I go, and I have my laptop in case there's an episode where I have to do research on things. We didn't film for like a while because of Father's Day, because it was Jacob's birthday. He was on vacation, and then the one time we filmed episode 3, not yesterday, but 2 weeks ago, we filmed it, and I said, "Hold on, you gave him his gift. I got a gift for you too."
Oh, no.
And I just took out a whole fucking stack of fidget spinners. Like I know
the 15-pack.
The 15-pack. I was like, I know you've been talking about fidget spinners, but so I just threw it on the table. And no one gets to see that now because I didn't hit record.
No. So you missed out on the fidget spinner part?
But it's okay because yesterday when we filmed it, I was like, I forgot I had 4 more in my bag because I took 4 back. And I was like, it's okay. No one got to see the 15, but I still got some for you. And I threw them back at them.
Like Ninja Stars?
And I was like, Kenny at first was like, dude, that sucks. And I'm like, at first I was mad, but I was like, that's a good talking point to start. Because then I could be like, okay. And everyone was like, make sure Jay hits record this time. And I was like, okay, fine. So Kenny turns around and he goes, I'm not starting until y'all hit record. So, and he was already recording. And we were like, okay, we're getting that. We hit record. And he goes, and usually Kenny does a countdown. Like it's all organized where Kenny is just like, all right, 5, 4, 3, like ready to go. And
He's the producer,
yeah,
right?
He's the producer. He coordinates everything for us. And I set up all the angles, the lighting. And he's like, he just stops and he goes, no, I already hit record. You guys can just start going now. I'm just laughing. It was a very dysfunctional but very funny 3rd episode, but we're calling it 3.5.
3.5.
3.5. So it's like episode 3.5, and everyone's gonna be like, "Why is it 3.5?" And it's like because there's a lost episode that we didn't
never made
record. The audio's there, but the visual's not there. So
That's funny because you're saying some stories, and I'm like, bro, that shit happens. It's happened before in the podcast, but I know that you like it happens a couple of times, but then you're more aware of it.
Yeah, and it's funny because again, we're not experts.
No.
We're far from it, but we're enjoying it. And the guys were like, I even asked the guys, and someday I got to bring you to meet them. Either
You're gonna have me on your podcast.
Yeah, I got to have you on the podcast. We got to get another microphone. I think there is another microphone, but
I'll bring my microphone.
Oh yeah, we'll plan it out definitely because what we're planning on doing is we film in the main studio, But if depending on how many guests we have, we might move it to the conference room,
Okay.
or to the rehearsal room. I know they're in the process of painting it right now. They were working on it right before we left.
Yeah.
It was Ergie, Adrian, and Ryan.
Yeah, I saw it getting painted red.
It's looking great. They showed
good.
us the plan. It's like, ooh, because I showed the guys around the studio. I was like, this is now our home for studio. I was like, this has always been my home.
Yeah.
But now it gets to be your guys' home, and they fucking love it. They're like, I was like, if we need to record anywhere else, depending on the room, they're like, no, we love the studio. Like the background is great.
Yeah.
They love it. They enjoy the hell out of it. But
That's cool. That's good.
and it's cool because like they knew how everything was for me for music, and I was like, well, now you guys get to see what I'm a part of and what everyone else that works behind music is a part of. So they enjoy the hell out of it. And I think what we're doing is we're working on 6 episodes. Right now this is episode 3, so we got 3 more episodes to go. And then that gives us time to get our guests, like start setting up guests.
Guest list,
So
right.
we're going to start getting all guests. There's a guy that my friend Jacob met that's DJs, or him and 3 other people. So we're going to try to set that up too, get you in there, get a couple people on there. I want to get Ergie on there. So I think it'll be fun because people, like, not only that, but our friends that we work with.
Yeah.
Because we talk about certain guys in our friend group that we used to drink with, go have fun with, and I was like, fuck, we gotta get them on the podcast because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. You guys are just being you.
It's just us,
Right.
and if we put them in the podcast, they're like, oh,
You
like
put
there's
3
some.
monkeys in front of a camera. That's what you get.
It's like this is all you get. Like they just watch them go fucking crazy, and they have some pretty gnarly stories.
Yeah.
Like gnarly stories that I know is borderline pushing an envelope, but they're legitimate stories. So it's just like our friend Javi. Javi is just fucking balls to the wall. Like he's the youngest one of the bunch, and he still works for the company that we used to work for, but he's like our little brother. So we're always messing with him. We're always
picking on him and stuff.
Like we protect him, but like he talks shit to us, we talk shit back. It's just how we are. But he's like the little brother of the group. So like there's the music guys and then there's those guys.
Yeah.
And we get to bring them on board and stuff.
You
and
kind of merge them in together.
yeah, and that's the cool thing because now they
Yeah,
got
it
to
makes
meet
the
Kenny.
family bigger, bro.
And that's the cool thing too is I was talking about that too is being a part of a bigger family, like with music and media and all that stuff. Like, dude, like that's the best thing to have.
Yeah.
And now they get to see how much we expand because they always ask me like, well, are you still doing music? I was like, yeah, I'm still doing music. It's just right now because this is a quicker process. We're doing the podcast and I'm making sure we stay doing that podcast. But behind closed doors, I'm still working on music. I'm still working on an album. So
Right.
it's
You never really stop.
no, I don't really stop. It's just sometimes with music, it's a little bit more difficult in the lyricism. So, but right now,
But the words?
with writing the lyrics and stuff, all the words and stuff, it's like sometimes you get writer's block. So the podcast kind of helps me get away from that.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm legit genuine. I get the mind flowing. I'm just talking and having a fun time. But I think right now we're about 80% to done with the album.
Okay.
So I think we have we'll say 80% because I have the intro to do. I got 2 tracks I got to finish writing too that were brand new beats. And then after that, we're gonna tighten up a couple things and then see how we're gonna record or plan out releasing.
Do you write outside of just your music? Like, I know you said you write out your some of your topics for your podcast, and you said you have some writer's block for your music, but do you write outside of all that? Like just for yourself?
Here and there, like sometimes like I think of certain things. Like I don't write poetry, which is really cool to think about. Like I wish I did.
Right.
But
It's hard.
But it's like I sometimes write certain things like, oh, this would be cool to do like an intro for this. Like the intro that we have, because the album's called Preach 2, and Preach 1 was something that years ago when I had no access to Apple Music, Spotify, it was just all SoundCloud. And that's where I kind of got recognized more, was on SoundCloud. And that my first project on there was called Preach. Majority of the songs are still on there. Most of them are still there, but some of them aren't, obviously. I don't remember if I removed them or whatever it is, but there's like 4 tracks on there now. And that was like an EP. Then I started breaking out into all platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, and that is what kind of got me more recognized out there because, yes, people from all around the world can see you on SoundCloud, but not as much as they're going to see you on Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah.
So when I did Whoa,
Nobody really uses SoundCloud anymore.
no, they don't. it's still cool to have it,
Right.
but it's like it's not like I still have my profile there.
But like compared to Spotify,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Spotify is huge.
Spotify is huge. Apple Music is huge.
Shout out Spotify.
No, sponsored. Sponsor me all the time.
$100 million deal like Joe Rogan, bring
Yeah,
it my way.
for real, dude. Like throw it my way, dude. But yeah, it's always been cool to see that, and I kind of visualize everything on how from the music aspect. Like I'm now trying to figure out how to properly do the I want to say the podcast releasing. Like I don't know how to properly find publishing for podcasts. So like I did research, but right now I was like, you know what? Until I figure out the research, I have all the audio for every podcast episode so far.
So how to distribute it?
So how to distribute it? I got to do the proper research. I know, like for music, I do DistroKid, but
If only you knew a guy who knows how to podcast.
you're gonna have to show me because I am completely fucking brain dead with that.
Yeah.
Like I remember doing the research first, because like I'm a guy that's like I don't like backtracking, but I understand like there's times where you have to a little bit, and it's just like okay, so we have our whole plan, and I was like I thought I had the right website, but then it was like oh the podcast
You learn
episode
as
is
you go.
up for like 30 days, and I'm like
Right.
so now we can't get the podcast episode up, so I have to figure that out. And go from there, but it's been really fun to do. Again, it's always cool to talk about the views that we've had.
Yeah.
The guys don't really look at the views. I look at all the views.
You look at more of the analytic.
Yeah, I look at the more analytical business side because, and this is really cool to have because I don't do it as a way to be like, okay, how can we bring these up? I do it as a way like, let's see our progress
Yeah.
and let's watch us climb.
And also, it's because you're the one putting in like the editing time, and you want to see if that work is somewhat paying off a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know?
And like YouTube and Instagram, I've barely started doing YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
I saw you have a whole collection, and when I did the podcast, because now we're on YouTube, obviously, I was like, okay, let me do the shorts. The shorts got like thousands.
And those are what brings you the subscribers.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, dude, like I don't advertise nothing with YouTube. I just post it. I'll see you in a
You
bit.
don't have to.
And I noticed that because like the playlist bit that got I think like 3,000 on 2,000 to 3,000 on Instagram, 4,000 on TikTok, and
Nice.
3,000 on YouTube. The Fat Friend one, 17 on TikTok. I think it's got like 3,000 on YouTube, and I think like another 4,000, 3,000 or 4,000 on Instagram.
Yeah, those are good views.
And it's just like, oh shit! Like I think it's got like 23 altogether for that.
Off of the first few shorts.
And it's just like, dude, it's like it's doing its job, which is cool because the guys don't. They're the type of mentality which is cool. They're just like, we're just doing this because we love it.
Yeah.
If we become successful, we're gonna become successful.
I was gonna ask you too. What do you guys see your guys' self with this podcast?
What they see versus what I see is two totally different things, but
Okay.
it's not in a way that is butting each other. It's in a way that is like
It complements each other.
it's complementing each other very well. So we talked about it literally yesterday before we left, and it was the last piece of the episode, and it was like, dude, we're still gonna be the same if we're successful, and I want us to be successful because those guys deserve to be successful, and especially for what they're doing. They're fresh off. They don't know much about the media side. They're just like, they have a microphone to them. They're doing their tests.
Yeah.
And they're once the button hits record, we're good to go. But they feel so genuine to it.
They have that curiosity. To
They're
it.
they're just like, ooh, like we like this. So they're becoming more and more comfortable. And Kenny's very meticulous too, where even on the music side, he's gonna tell me what needs to get done. He goes, you need to make sure you're doing it here, not here or whatever. Like you need try this type of flow versus this type of flow. With podcasting, it's a little different because he'll tell us if he goes, this is a solid episode, right? And he'll tell us like the first episode versus the second. He said your second episode was a lot better than your first episode. Your first episode was obviously getting the feelers out there. We did a thing where everyone would ask us questions, get to know us, all that
Yeah.
stuff, and it was cool. But that was like kind of like the breaking the ice type.
Right. That's how you start a podcast.
And that-
I'm literally thinking back of how this podcast started, and
Yeah.
that's how it happens.
And they just asked us questions. And the second episode was
What should we talk about on this episode of the podcast?
and that's what I did. I was like, send us some questions. Let's go. And a lot of our friends would send us the dumbest fucking things, but then some people would also send us some things, like some actual questions.
Yeah.
Will there be guests? How will this go? Will there be merch? Like all this stuff. But then there's people that are asking us like dumbass questions, like if you were stuck on an island, whatever. But it's like, it's fun because people get to see it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, we're barely finishing up our third episode. How are we going to progress for the next episode? And it's not like I don't tell them that. I think of it on my end. Like what we talked about when I did episode with you here. Talking about getting 1% better. I take that step back and I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, let's see how we can figure this out. And they see how like I have the topics on the desk or on the table. I'm looking at them and I'm just like, I figure out a way to transition. So like, we'll talk about, I don't know, like football, baseball, basketball, let's just say we're talking about football. And then if I see something that transitions like team wise, like LA, okay, LA Rams. Okay. Speaking of LA, how do you think the Dodgers are doing? Boom, you're into baseball.
Yeah.
And then it transitions over to basketball. You got to find that hook that loops into that.
It's those conversation skills you got to learn how to do.
And that's the one, like I try to do that most of the time so that we don't run in circles. And I don't know if they see that or if they notice that, but we're just having a genuine conversation. But because of me looking at the topics, I'm like, okay,
you kind of dictate where the conversation is gonna go.
Yeah, and sometimes and I told them yesterday, I was like, sometimes I rearrange just to make sure if it flows easier, so that we're not going from A to Z. Like we're trying to figure out how to loop it correctly. And the guys, like they're loving it, which is by far the funniest thing because everyone is like, oh, when's the next episode coming out? And when's this? When's that? And they're like, we're in the process of doing it. They're not impatient. They just ask how everything's going. I'll send them clips of the shorts. What do you guys think of this? And like, dude, this is fucking comedy. Yeah. Like, I didn't tell them about the Porky Pig picture.
It's good that you have two other people there.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, bro, now you got a team already. So it's like, all right, you take care of some shorts, you published, you do this. And now we have this whole thing working together.
Well, for me, it's like, I'll send them the clips and because I love editing. They don't know much about editing. They just know how to find the right timing and stuff. And it's nothing against them. It's because I do it a lot more. So I made it easier for all of us to where it's like, what do you guys think of this clip? They love it, right? And I won't tell them the short. Like, hey, I think the playlist bit is really funny. So I was like, let me organize it. They didn't know I was going to put Porky Pig pictures. They didn't know anything like that. And then with the editing skills, like I would try to do it to where it's more entertaining and more interactive.
Yeah, more poppy, flashy.
Yeah, more poppy, flashy. You know, it's getting hooked on to people. And nobody noticed. Like, nobody knew what I was going to send them. They just knew
that they were going to receive something.
They were going to receive something. So I just sent it to them.
Kind of like the airdrop.
Yeah, and exactly. Kind of like the airdrop there. And then what's funny is they were, like Jacob is a little bit more vocal with that. He'll be like, Miguel is just like, he's just like enjoying every bit of it. So he's not like, and it's cool because he's just like, I like it. It's funny, right? But Miguel every now and then will kind of throw in a couple things. Jacob throws in a little bit more, which is cool because we're all on the same page. Like no one says, no, I don't want to do that. Let's do this. Yeah. Like we're all just like, okay, and we'll just throw shit on the wall, see if it sticks. Let's do it.
That's literally, That's how I think you should stick with that mentality too when it comes to planning out your episodes of just,
yeah, it's just like, okay.
And we fail together, but who cares?
It's like we're enjoying it and it's fun. And people, not only that, but people get to see a side of me that they've never seen. So like,
how would you describe that side of you?
Like the side of me that you see on the podcast is literally me outside of music. It's just talking shit. I'm cracking jokes. I'm not like trying to be funny and trying to fit in. I'm just there.
Yeah.
So when we did the podcast, they know how to get it out of me. Kenny knows how to get it out of me too, and so does Ergy. But it's only when it's them two.
Yeah.
With the guys, it's them two at a bar somewhere. We're fucking around the entire time, or on Xbox, on Call of Duty, and they get to bring that side of me that is talking shit.
Yeah.
Like that is cracking jokes, talking shit. Like my phone was blowing up the day that I posted the shorts of, and I called it a Pound Town playlist. We never called it that, but I was like, this is funny. Yeah. So I put Pound Town playlist, and everyone's sending me the PTP, and people were cracking jokes the entire time. They're like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "You did not just post this." Like I did.
Yeah.
And people get to enjoy that because music side of me, like. I'm a different person.
Right,
like I'm very serious.
You have the artist Jay Bauer.
I have the artist side, and then with the podcast, it's just they see part of the artist side, but then they see like who I really am, which is Jimmy. Like I don't Granted, with music, I don't be somebody I'm not. It's just the music side of me is a lot more in depth on things, and a lot more poetic and a lot more lyrically advanced versus
You're showing art rather than just you.
Yeah, and then with the podcast, it's like I just sit there, I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, and they're learning so much about you.
And they're like, "Oh, dude, like this guy doesn't give a fuck." Like, it's just I'm enjoying it.
So, what have you learned about yourself through this podcast?
That I need to think outside the box more. Like, so when I post music, every advertisement that I do is always very vintage style look. Right. So like
it's your style.
It's the style. That's Kenny said that's your style. I don't think you can go anything else. So like when I did 9400 the teaser for that, I found a clock, a picture or a video of a clock, and it looked like it was a yellow background and it looked like very 80s-ish kind of. Maybe a little bit before that. But I added some filter to it to make it look more authentic, make it look more like, back in the day type of vibe. And people grasp onto that because they see that's how I am. And it's specifically that type of showing. But with the podcast, people get to see that touch from the intro, how it looks like a little bit glitchy and
that's
stuff.
Still you.
And that's still me. But at the same time, they don't see that side of me with music. I don't always talk about music in there. Like every now and then I talk about the music, but it's mostly talking about our specific topics, which is just the dumbest shit. It's just like literally the last episode we just had.
It's about life.
It's about just life. Like we were talking about how I fucked up not hitting record. And then it was talking about the double standards in relationships and all that stuff. Because I messed with my friend Jacob and like, did you find your fidget spinner yet?
Oh my gosh.
and he's just like, no, yet. And we're like, and I was messing with him. Like the last topic we had, it was like, okay, well, would you have an exception if it was a WNBA, like a gorgeous WNBA player, like Kelsey Plum or whatever? Oh, he was like, that's the exception.
What's the exception to what?
The fidget spinner criteria. And it was funny because we were just cracking so many jokes about that. And Miguel is literally trying to find Jacob a girlfriend, which is hilarious.
A fidget spinner?
A fidget spinner.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because I'm just there like, what is going on? Like, are we doing a dating show for him? Like, what's going on? And we're busting up laughing the entire time. But I know, like, next week, because we give ourselves a week to or a weekend just to, podcast, nothing, enjoy the day. Next weekend, I'm going to see them, but we're all going to just have fun, hang out with friends and all that stuff. And,
you look forward to the next podcast episode.
We look forward to the next podcast episode. But I know that when we're there, everyone's going to be asking about it.
Yeah. That's the difference between doing what you love and then doing what you got to do for work.
Oh yeah,
it's like when you got to go to work, you have that mentality or that little mental thought of, oh, I really want to go.
And it's really cool because it's like, oh, okay. So when we meet up, like we meet up early just so we can get the podcast out of the way at like 10 a.m. We literally book it for like 10 or 11 a.m. Just do our episode, have fun, and then what are you guys doing after? Like we'll just all hang out. Like literally, when we actually did the actual episode 3.
So. You guys hungry?
You guys hungry? Yeah, we did. We went straight to fucking Hooters in fucking Orange County.
Oh my gosh.
Jacob was like, what do you guys want to do? And I was like, what do you guys want to do?
How's Hooters? Is the food good?
Food's good. That was actually my first time.
I've never been.
I've never been until that day. Yeah. And it was so bad because Jacob sends me the news. Oh, Hooters is closing down X amount of locations. And I was like, oh, I know my man. I was talking shit. I was like, oh, I know my man's on his knees right now crying at a Walmart. Like he's just fucking not feeling it. And and then he goes, no, we're good. Everything's good. They're not closing down the Orange County location. I was like, oh, because Miguel lives out there. And then Jacob lives in Moval and then I live in Rancho. But we all used to work in Moval together. Okay. So we went out to Orange County, went to the Hooters, and then we went to, I think it was called Lopez and Lefties. It's a bar. It's actually a really cool spot where we watched the Dodger game. Okay. So we watched.
Do you like baseball?
Yeah. I mostly watch it for the Dodgers.
Okay.
Mainly because Jacob's a very big Dodgers fan. Miguel's not. He's an Angels fan, but he'll watch baseball with us. And Miguel talks like shit all the time. I can
imagine.
It's funny because we went to a game where it was, what was it? Cal State Dominguez Hills Day. Uh-huh. So it was like a bunch of college kids there. and it was the Dodgers versus St. Louis Cardinals, and we were there, and we were actually in the section where it was like pretty good seating. There was 3 bars behind us, so we were just like, we'll be
I've
back.
never been to a baseball game. That sounds cool. I don't like baseball, but the environment sounds
The
cool.
environment's really fun. It depends on what time you go to. The parking is just horrendous, but
Bro,
I mean,
imagine right now with the heat.
oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, heck no.
It's horrible.
Forget baseball.
But at the same time, it's really fun when you have a big group. Like that was the day when I took picture of Tino eating a hot dog. Like we were all there, and we all had fun. We witnessed almost a fight in the stands, and we were just sitting there like, what? Here's the funny thing: we don't engage in any confrontation except Miguel if people are poking him. He's that type of guy, which is funny. But all of us are just drinking our beer, eating food. Oh, what's going on? Okay.
$13 hot dog.
$13 hot dog for pretty much, and we're just here. And at the same time, we're all stacking our cups the entire time to see how many cups we could stack. And we had more than that, dude. We were stacking them high because there's like I'm trying to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like there's like 7 or 8 of us.
And then times like 5.
And then pretty much like I think like 3 or 4 beers per person, and we're just like, we're taking these home. We're taking these home. Like I have Dodger cups at my house now.
Yeah.
So it's really fun because we enjoy the hell out of it. But again, they're loving the entire project that we're doing.
The process of
it, the environment of it. They love the studio. They love how everything is. They know that everything is not. It's not something that they expected before because. Back then, like years ago, people would be like, "Oh, I want to do music," and then they're filming it in or they're recording in a garage or something. Granted, if you have the right product and you have the right equipment,
and then it's
easy
for them. I can't just imagine. Think about it. They wanted to do a podcast, and all of a sudden, they're here with all this podcast equipment in a huge studio that they've never been in before.
They walked in, they're like, "Oh,
what the fuck is going on?"
They're like, "This is dope."
Yeah.
Like, and Ergi. So the first day that we had it,
like us, we're a little bit more used to stuff like this, you know, like. Because we've been in this environment, we know how these kind of people are. Artists, they have their studios, fancy stuff. But imagine to somebody who's never been around this world, like
they've never seen it, and they're just like, I was showing them around because obviously anybody I bring around, I got to give them a tour. So especially with the new rehearsal room, they get to see Ergi, they get to meet Kenny, they get to meet anyone who's there. And I showed them. I was like, well, let me show you guys around real quick. It was like They're like, is this a house? I'm like, no. I mean, it used to be.
Yeah,
but
everybody's mentality when they go there.
It's like, huh? And I was like, but it's an office space. I was like, the backyard was all filled with concrete, and it's a parking lot now. And I was like, and then the house, quote unquote, is really an office. This is where Ergi's dad works. Yeah. And I'm showing him around where the kitchen's at, where the bathroom's at. And then I'm like, the studio is right here. It's just its own designated area. Then you have the rehearsal room, which is cool. That's where live bands go out and they record or they rehearse. And it's really cool to do. And they love it. They're very grateful that they're in that environment now and they get to be a part of that. But now it like getting to the point where we're watching everything slowly turn. They don't care if they're successful or not. Yeah. They care about having fun. And if they're not having fun with it, that's when I'm like, well, what can we do to make it fun? But they're loving every fucking bit of it the entire time. But now they're like all of our friends and family. So when's the next episode coming?
Everyone's expecting it from you.
They're expecting it now. And this is the consistent side.
Do you feel a pressure from that ever? Of like,
no.
Of like, oh, I have to release the next episode. I have to come up with something.
No, not necessarily because we have the amount of topics already there.
Okay.
Like I know there's going to be a day where we have to where I have to text them like, all right, now we got to plan the next 6-7 episodes. Because we're at halfway mark from the amount of episodes we already planned. So, of course, we had to switch things around, talk about a couple fresh things because of episode 3 and having to redo episode 3. But now it's like we're at the halfway point where we're going to have to start talking about the next or from 7 to 12. You know, start talking about that because the next episodes. So now those are probably going to be like every now and then guests. Start bringing them in, start talking about what we're going to, what guests we're going to bring in, when we're bringing them in, other stuff like that. And Jacob wants to do a beer Olympics.
Live on podcast?
Yeah. So he wants to do, I think I might switch it up on the topics. We'll see. Where I'll talk to him about it next week. Where we're probably going to move the beer Olympics segment to next episode to 4. And then that'll be the time when we're talking about certain topics, but we're also planning the beer Olympics.
Yeah.
Like what's the games that we're playing?
It's really cool hearing about your podcast because it's so different compared to like mine or compared to Ergie's. Like you guys have your own segments, own topics. Oh, we're gonna have this on this episode. Like I don't do that, but it's very interesting.
I'm
the
a
way you work.
meticulous person.
Yeah.
So when and the cool thing is I'm learning about that about myself when it comes to podcasting versus music. Because to answer your question about the pressure piece, I feel zero pressure when it comes to the podcast. I feel more pressure when it comes to the music.
Really?
Because here's why. It's just me. Like it's just my vocals. It's not just me producing because obviously it takes a whole village that I'm grateful for. But it takes a village to build that for me. Like no one's asking when the next Jay Bowers album is coming out. They're asking when the next Roast podcast episode is coming out. So the guys don't pressure nothing.
So you think that you don't feel the pressure because you put your ego aside when it comes to the podcast?
Absolutely.
And when it comes to the music, you kind of feel it there. It's like I have to be Jay Bowers.
I have to. Yeah. And I have to kind of eliminate that habit of mine because it's like we're in the process of doing an album.
Right.
We're flourishing in the podcast. We're enjoying it. I'm making sure Ergie's good with ErgFest. Like we're trying to plan it ahead. I'm not performing at ErgFest. I'm doing the back end of it. Which because Ergie needs that support. So I'm handling merch, a couple marketing things. I'm helping Kenny with like production. Like I'm trying to make sure that everything's tight knit for him. Take the pressure off. And that's what I'm doing now. But I tell the guys that, you know, if there's something I need to do, let me know. But with music, it's more of like I kind of not beat myself up for it, but I apply more pressure to myself because like, fuck, dude, I really need to write this. I really need to do this. And Kenny has gotten more, not in a bad way, but in a really, really good way. He's like a big brother where he'll be like, how far did you get on the song? I was like, almost done with the second verse. All right. Because then if he does it, if I'm done with it, he's like, all right, I'll pull up Friday. I'll pull up to my house Friday. We use the studio and work. That's it. And we went from, but the cool thing is like, we went from like 30% done to 80% done
Like
in
that.
one day.
Yeah.
Because he came
Once
in.
you hit the gas pedal and just go for it.
We just knocked out verse after verse after verse. Like, it wasn't like recording a whole song. It was like, okay, we got to redo this verse. We have to redo this verse. I rewrote a whole second verse for one of my songs. We have to do this. We have to produce 2 more tracks for this. And then we're saving the intro for last because the intro, you guys, everyone heard 9400 that listened to me. They heard the intro of 9400. That was all organized by me. And I'm very cinematic when it comes to the intros because
You want to feel it.
I want everyone to feel it.
Right.
This time around, it's very unique because I love how I said I don't write poetry because the intro has a bit of slam poetry in it, like spoken word.
Jesus died for our Cynthia's.
Sin, the us. What is it? Julia Robb hurts. But it was it's a unique style because
Good movie, bro.
it's such a great fucking movie. Jonah Hill is like my inspiration now for this album.
He's such a good actor.
He's great.
He's a great actor. Besides the comedy, no, he's a great actor.
You know what? I haven't seen. What was the one? The one where he had like a machine gun. I saw the scene. He like got
War
weed.
Dogs?
Was it War Dogs?
think
I gotta
so.
see that movie.
Good movie. I
Is
just
he-
saw it the other day.
Was it really good?
Yeah.
I just saw. It has nothing to do with Jonah Hill, but I saw A Quiet Place last night.
The third one? The new one.
I did the 40X. Hi. I did the 40X.
What's that?
Dude, I recommend it.
What's 40X?
Good date reference if you guys are good with this. So you've been at Disneyland, right? Or no?
Yes.
So you've been on Star Tours?
Yes.
You know how you're like moving around? It's kind of like that in a movie theater.
Where at?
Regal in Ontario Mills. So I didn't know about this. It was
Those Lagos, by the way, they have reclining chairs now.
They do? Oh,
they
might
redid
have
them.
to.
It's nice.
I might have to go. But the Regal Ontario Mills, I went last night. They have a 40X, and it was recommended to me, and I was like, "What the fuck is 40X?"
How much are the tickets?
It was like 23,
Okay.
but
Kind of worth it.
it's worth it
Right.
because it's like as if you're going on a ride, which is really dope. Because I
And
went,
then in that movie, I can imagine just everything shaking.
everything's shaking, and what's cool is like you slowly like rise up, like your seats raise up a little bit, and like you're moving around, you feel certain things. There's fans up in the top. They're replicating like the lights, so you see like light beams. It's
Oh, wow.
great.
The whole 9
It was
yards.
worth the fucking 23 to 25 a person. It was great.
Okay.
And they have a
that
bar
down.
there, so it was really cool to get drinks there. I literally went last night. I did like a 7 p.m. showing, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it.
I've been wanting to watch the first 2 Quiet Places again so I can get ready for this next one.
I watched the second one. The first one I need to rewatch.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of person where I saw the second one.
I know for sure I saw the second one, but I don't remember much of the first one.
Honestly, the first one or the recent one, you might not need to watch them. I mean,
No, because it's like a whole different story.
a whole different story, and but it's good to watch them.
I want to get the feel.
You
know
got
what I
you
mean?
want to get the feel of it, but it's really cool. It's great.
Yeah.
It was really cool to watch and to experience that because I loved every single bit of that, and I was just getting jolted around.
Like a roller coaster, but you're watching the movie.
I was like, "What the fuck is
It's like
this?"
you're already in Universal Studios without being all the way over there.
Yeah, it's 100% accurate. It's literally going into rides like that without the actual ride and without actually being there. You're in a movie theater.
Yeah.
So it's cool because I never knew that, and that's a movie theater I grew up in.
Oh, on Cherry Mills?
Yeah, because my mom used to live around there.
Okay.
And then my grandparents, my grandpa still lives in Fontana, but my grandma used to live out
I know
there
I've been
too.
to the mall, but I don't think I've been to the movie theater in Ontario Mills.
There's 2 movie theaters. So there's
Oh.
one at the Mills, right when you're going into the food court. There's the AMC there. They have reclining seats.
Okay.
And then you have across the street, there's a giant Regal movie theater. So you have the AMC at Ontario Mills, and then you have the Regal, across from the Mills.
Okay.
And they're both good.
Yeah.
Like the Regal movie theater was the one that my mom used to take us when we were kids.
And that's the one that has the 4DX.
That's the one that has a 40X.
Okay.
The one at AMC, they have reclining seats.
Yeah.
Kenny and I are notorious for watching the dumbest horror movies, first of all. Like,
But I'm not gonna lie, the horror movies that have been coming out are kind of dumb. Like some of them, they don't.
well,
hit
this
as
one's like the
good.
next level dumb. So, and here's why it's the next level dumb.
Wait, which movie?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Wait. What?
So I took the guys,
Wait. You went to watch what?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey?
So the Winnie the Pooh trademark had expired, right? So it was free game. So
Oh, because
you remember that?
Yeah.
So someone made a low budget slasher movie, and I watched it with Kenny and Ergie
In the movie theater?
in the movie theater with recliner seats.
What?
I took the guys and I was like, "You guys down to watch this?" Kenny was already down.
you guys down to watch
Kenny and I
this?
have watched the dumbest horror movies. Like we watched a movie about a killer piñata. It was a low budget movie, and we watched it at his house. It was so stupid. I was like, "Why am I watching this with?" And he goes, "Because it's funny." So we got our money's worth because we were crying, laughing the entire time.
Yeah.
But we kept crying, laughing the entire time. I'm in the middle. I think Kenny's here, Ergie's here. I'm laughing the entire fucking time because there's a scene when Winnie the Pooh's like, look, was it Winnie the Pooh or Piglet? They're going like this, and then he just quickly turns his head. And just from that turn alone, I hear Kenny wheezing, and I had to stop. I had to be like, "Oh no, dude, don't make me laugh!" And
Don't make me laugh.
And because he was laughing the entire time, people that were watching the movie were laughing the entire time because he's like, "This guy's fucking Kenny's just busting up," and it was the dumbest movie, but it was really hilarious because we were just like, "There's certain parts in the movie where it's like."
So what happens in the movie? They're trapped in the forest with Winnie the Pooh. He just comes and slashes them for honey and blood.
What was it? I mean, it's been a while. So Christopher Robin and his fiance
Oh wow.
return
Okay.
to
Forest?
the 100-acre wood.
Okay.
But I guess that shows a cool backstory where Christopher Robin left them hanging. It gets fucking diabolical. It's pretty hilarious. So in the beginning,
Oi.
hey, I feel you. My cat does the same thing. So
real quick. Let's just keep going. Come on. Let's roll.
she's like, I'll be back. But I what's it called? The history behind it, it shows like a cartoon. It looked like a Tim Burton-esque cartoon. Where Christopher Robin left but never came back, and Piglet, Pooh, Rabbit, and I forgot who else, cannibalized Eeyore.
Oh no.
It's so bad, dude. It was so bad. I was like, what the fuck are we watching? and then it fast forwarded.
What the fuck comes up with this
It's
shit?
so funny. And then it fast forwarded to like live action. What's it called? Christopher Robin is back with his fiance, and they're like looking for Pooh, and it just looks fucked up.
Yeah.
And Winnie the Pooh and Piglet like just fucking hijacks them, kidnaps
You think you would
them.
survive in the woods if it was infested with Winnie the Pooh, hungry for blood and honey?
Hell no.
No. After what you saw?
After what I saw, I mean, yeah, hell no. I'm
No.
not doing that. Like, I just thought about it for a second. I was like, wait, can I? No, because it's knowing me. Like, regardless of what I've done in high school with athletic,
Fuck.
I don't give a fuck. If you go toe to toe with the slasher, you're dead. It's done.
Yeah.
I've seen the
Who do
movie.
you think you had the best chance against? Like, if you had to go against one slasher, who do you think you would hold your own a little bit more?
Fuck the bigger ones. I would have to say.
Fuck the bigger ones for real, bro.
Fuck the bigger ones,
I'm not
dude.
about to fight Jason.
I'm not fighting Jason.
Jason's
I'm one of like a big fan of Jason Voorhees. My studio has a fucking painting of him, but I was like, but I'm not gonna go toe to toe with him. I've seen him like he just did an uppercut to someone and his head flew off.
I'm good.
I would probably say
Oh, I know mine.
I think Ghostface. There you
Exactly. I was
go.
about to say this
Because
guy from
Ghostface,
Scream.
all he's gonna do is fuck with me on the phone and be like,
Eli Scary.
I'm like, look, dude, look, I'm trying to go to sleep.
Either
Go
come
fuck
kick
yourself. Come kick it or get out.
Let me look.
I got pizza. You can hang out with me. The fight's on.
Fights
Like,
are on. We're
but,
good.
I can't with Michael Myers
Nah.
because Michael Myers, they have had to kill him like multiple times for him to still be alive. Jason Voorhees, he's still creeping around.
Chucky's creepy, but that fool goes into another doll. Like
I don't give a fuck how small he is. I will drop kick him.
Yeah.
I will never hesitate. I've seen this video of a little Mexican luchador just get fucking. He's sitting on the apron of a ring, and somebody just drop kicks him and he flies out. That's me with Chucky. Just fucking. I don't care. Like, get away from me.
Ergie told me that you guys went to WrestleMania, no?
We went to Kenny and I went to WrestleMania 39.
Okay.
So, but we also went to AEW at the Kia Forum, and we took Ergie there.
Have you always been into watching wrestling?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah?
I've been a
Because
big
you were a
wrestling
wrestler,
fan.
but watching wrestling is different too.
Well, I was big into wrestling as a kid, like
Right.
I like back in like 2003,
Those SmackDown days, you know?
and I would watch that. And then as I got older, I went to one event with my dad for my birthday, and it was for SummerSlam in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2008. It was at the Staples Center, and then I never went since. And then fast forward to like 2018, I think. Kenny and I got to go watch SmackDown on the now Toyota Arena. What used to be Citizens Bank. Went there, and then Kenny and I went to WrestleMania 39 at SoFi, and we had floor seats practically.
Oh wow! So you guys were like super close.
Not like close to the ring, but I mean it was like 80,000 strong both days, but we had one seat. Like our day one seats was on the left side, and we were kind of to the floor, but the seating was like fold out chairs because it was floor. And it was like a little bit more tight.
The environment must be so different compared to a freaking baseball game.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God. It got louder and louder. So everyone kept doing like the Ric Flair woo, and you could hear it slowly increase.
Yeah.
And there's a DJ playing music. So DJ's playing all these California, LA,
West Coast beats and
West
stuff like
Coast,
that.
West Coast tracks, which is dope, dude. Everyone was loving it. But night one was the left side with the fold out chairs. Night two was on the other side, a little bit up more, and we had more comfortable seats and we had better view of the ring.
Oh, so it worked out better to the second day.
Yeah. Now Kenny wants to go to WrestleMania in Vegas because they're doing a Vegas WrestleMania at Allegiant.
Ooh.
And I'm like, ooh, that sounds tempting.
The UFC's having their first event in the Sphere in Las Vegas in September. So now just imagine a WrestleMania event or something crazy for WWE.
They're
'Cause
doing-
they're already working together.
Yeah, because they're already doing. I was asking Kenny, I was like, you think they're gonna do something on this at the Sphere? And he goes, I don't think so, because like it would be cool, but I don't think they're going to. Probably like a Hall of Fame or something. But I knew that once there's a new stadium built, WWE is going to try to do it because they're at like the top right now. So when they did it at SoFi, that was their first WrestleMania at SoFi, but I think they're like third time in Los Angeles, and I hope I said that correct, third time, and then now they're going to do Allegiant Stadium, brand new stadium. I think a little bit bigger than SoFi, if not the same size, and it's going to be great. Because I drive past it when I go see my mom to Utah.
So you've seen the stadium before?
I've seen how it looks. It's huge, man. It's like, it's right here. Then you have the freeway, and then you have the strip. I think like Caesar's Palace is across from it, if I'm correct. I don't remember. But it's like the nice hotels. And Kenny wants to go next year, so it's going to be a lot of money saving. But I would be like, all right, cool, I'm down. But I kind of want to go to the Sphere. I kind of want to see who's playing at the Sphere.
I've seen already the TikToks of how they do the whole show, besides the event, when they put like the water droplets coming down or the forest and the breeze.
Dude, it's so cool. Like I saw a Stranger Things one, like outside.
On the outside,
it's so cool to look
the
at.
SpongeBob one. Have you seen that?
No.
Somebody was like, there was a bright light coming in from my window that was keeping me up at night, and it turns out this is what it is, and it's freaking SpongeBob on the Sphere, and it's just the whole Sphere is yellow.
If I woke up and saw that shit, I'd be like, what the
Where
fuck? Imagine being
I?
drunk in Vegas and looking outside like,
or worse.
It's just tweaking out. What the fuck is staring at me out there? I drove past it one time at night because I went to go see my mom and my sister and I.
They live in Vegas?
They live in Utah, but you got to drive through Vegas
to
go to the end of Utah where my mom's at. And we drove like late at night, and I see like my nephews. Bubba was like, "Oh, look over there," and they didn't know what it was. But we looked to the side, or I look at my rear view because I was driving my sister's car, and we see the Sphere. It was all bright blue and stuff. It was really cool to look at. I would love to be there. You know, I got family out there still, but I'll probably see them when I go to WrestleMania. Just depends on how much it is, you know, because
they're expensive.
They're very expensive. We got lucky for our seats though.
No, and it's expensive, and we could afford it, but right now with everything else being expensive too, it's like we gotta afford that first, and then we can afford this too.
Like, yeah, it's like, dude. But I mean, Kenny was like, we were hoping that they were gonna do it in Vegas, because we've always wanted to do it. We even asked Miguel from the podcast, because Miguel's a big wrestling fan. Like, dude, you gotta go. Yeah. He goes, you gotta let me know. I think we're going to Raw in September at Toyota Arena. So it's next to my house, literally next to my house. So we're going to go in September, and then we'll see how it goes for the rest of the time. But there's times like if we don't go to the actual event, like WrestleMania or like Royal Rumble and stuff, we'll probably like host something at somebody's house. I know I did Royal Rumble at my house. We did WrestleMania at my friend Alvin's house. My friend Alvin wants to do a wrestling podcast. Yeah. So
we went out to a bar right here in Dos Lagos for UFC 300, and it was pretty cool. Like we'd never done something like that. Actually, we did, just me and my dad. But this time we had our friends come, and we were watching the fights, and it's pretty cool too.
It is, huh?
I mean, we can't afford to go and watch the full thing right there live in front, you know.
But
hang out with these people.
I think the UFC fights are very, very pricey,
bro. $600 for a regular ticket.
Yeah, I can't see. Like for WrestleMania, it was like $450 to $500 for floor.
But don't even worry, bro, because later on they're gonna invite me over to the UFC events, and we're all gonna go.
That's the goal. That's the goal. We in there, but Dana, hey, have your people call my people, dude. But
by my people, I mean call me, because I don't.
You can call me, yeah. That's how I am, dude. It's funny because when we say that, with music on the music side, I have no people to have your people call my people. It's literally my phone. But true story. And my mom is like a true, like, she came in clutch for this. So my mom, you know, being half Puerto Rican, my mom's full, you know, Puerto Rican or Hispanic, and she likes to follow every person with the check mark on their name that has a Puerto Rican flag. Oh, that's how she is.
So like who?
Daddy Yankee, okay. Bad Bunny, and then there's somebody who's a good friend of mine now. Her name's Debs. She does these like music camps in LA or Florida, all this stuff. She's originally from, I think, California. And my mom was like, dude, they're doing a music camp in Los Angeles. You got to go. And I was like, well, let me see if I if I get picked.
Yeah.
So I follow her. I send my music stuff. Said, here's all the stuff that I've been working on. Here's the stuff I have done, all this stuff.
Your resume.
My resume, pretty much. I try to send as much stuff as I can. She hits me up that same day, and she's like, "Are you free Tuesday?" I said, "Yeah, I'm free Tuesday. What's going on?" She goes, "Okay, I'm gonna send you my phone number. Text me as soon as possible." Blah blah blah. I text her. She goes, "Okay, we're gonna coordinate for 2:00 on Tuesday in LA. We'll have food and stuff for you. You're gonna be in this studio area. You're gonna work with Beats Academy, and Beats Academy is a Latin Grammy nominated producer.
Wow.
So he's from the Dominican Republic. Super nice guy.
You met him already?
Yeah, we took pictures together and all that stuff. It was the dude that I took a picture with in a studio.
I
And
think
then
I saw it.
I was also with 2 rappers, CNG Easy and Frosty. Frosty Chasing Dough. And nobody knew that I was gonna be there. I didn't really say much to anybody except Kenny and Ergie.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, because I don't talk about it. Like I've seen people where they're like, oh, I know this, and that. I don't say anything.
What do you mean?
Like
about what?
Like with their I brought this up yesterday too. There's like when I did the Taste remix, that did numbers because it was literally right after Tiger released Taste, a little after.
And you did your cover?
And I did my cover. And there was a guy in that cover who did his verse, but he had the whole attitude that everybody knew who he was. And I don't fuck with that. So
Okay.
granted, at the time I was just like, I was very like blinded by it, where I was just like, okay, bring him on board, like anything to get me, anything to get the publicity out there. But in reality, there was only one person that made that publicity happen, and it was me. And I take full pride in that because if Erg Studios flourishes, successful, it's not just Ergie, it's not just Kenny, it's all of us. Like everyone's doing their own thing. But for the Taste stuff, I paid the videographer, my friend Ethan, who wasn't gonna charge me, but it's my boy. I'm gonna pay him.
Yeah.
I paid for about 85% of that Airbnb. I made sure everything was set. I picked the locations. We went from Newport. Was it Newport? We went to a beach all the way down to LA to Woodland Hills to film multiple scenes. And the guy who kept saying, "Oh, I know this, and that," he didn't put anything in there. So it was just like it was me contributing everything. So that's why it's like well, there's one thing I brought it up yesterday. What was it? There was a thing where, and I think I have the video from like long ago. We're in LA. I don't like being in LA.
It's very sketchy. There's some parts that I like, some parts that I don't.
But I don't like
It's
being in
very
LA being somebody I'm not. Like I've had so many people like, "Oh, you should move to LA." I don't want to because one, it's already going to break the bank to begin with.
It feels artificial.
It feels artificial. And two, I don't need to put up a front. Like I'd rather be myself and be here. Like learning from rappers like CNG Easy and Frosty Chasing Dough, it was a quick shoot in the shit. They're super cool people.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, where'd you come from?" I was like, "Oh, I came from Rancho." Like, "Oh, you're not far from where we're at." And they're like, "Oh, we're from Pomona." But CNG was like, "I just moved to LA, but I grew up in Pomona, and Frosty's still in Pomona." So I was like, "Oh, cool! Like you guys are not that far from me." So it was really dope.
So for you, it's not worth it to be over
It's not
there
worth
in LA?
it. It's not worth it at all.
'Cause a lot of our friends, they say LA's where it's at. It's where you have to go.
but LA is
I'm in the same
also
wave. I'm like, I don't know. I like keep it to myself a little bit more. I like being with my people rather than
not only that, but LA is it depends.
yeah.
Like
Every now and then to go to like an event or something for it's cool.
it's cool to be there. Like when I got invited to go work with the
different.
producer and stuff, I was like, okay, I made my way to LA. I didn't care about the traffic. It took me like 45 minutes.
Right.
I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But I don't need to pack my bags and live there because if I got to pack my bags and live there, I literally have to scratch and claw and do all that stuff. Not saying I'm
And also,
incapable of doing
The
it.
people that are in LA and how they would react because they're in LA too. They're in the same way. They want that same opportunity. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know how that depiction of like the rat race? That's sometimes what I think about it. It's like, I know that you guys seem cool, but I know that some of you guys are rats. You guys are gonna chew me up just so you can get the cheese.
That's why it's just like I'm cool with where we're at because
Yeah.
we have a studio in Corona. Everyone's got their own spots. Everyone's doing. I got
And
my
we're
studio.
all super skilled. Like in reality, we
yeah.
have a great team. We just need to use.
The only challenge that I have for our erg family
Mhm.
because they're all dope. I sent a post where a funny meme girl, and nothing against her because she's hustling, she's getting her bread. The fucking Haktua girl. It was funny video because
Yeah.
I be
To
the
spit on
memes.
that thing.
The memes are fucking
Yeah, yeah.
hilarious. But
Conor McGregor wanted her.
really,
He was like, "Has anyone got a hold of that Quack 2 girl?"
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But I saw a clip or I saw a post on Threads because I'm every now and then I'm on Threads where it was like that girl got to quit her job and do all this stuff. Meanwhile, your friends that are working on music and doing this stuff are still struggling.
Yeah.
And that kind of touched me in the heart because it's like, yeah, that's true. Granted, no hate to her. No hate to her. Fuck it. If you get successful like that, take that shit. Get your bread. She's doing successful.
And it was like her being her.
It was her being her.
Yeah.
The thing is that should have lit a fire for us where it's like, damn, all of us got to work together now.
Mhm.
Like, we ain't
Because
got
bro,
to.
all it takes is one video to change your entire life.
Yeah. And it's
That girl
just,
doesn't have to go to school anymore or work for the rest of her life.
she's just doing her thing. And the challenge that I have for the family, for the erg family on the group chat or whatever is if somebody posts something, just share it.
Mhm.
Like I got to do better on that too. I'm not going to sound like a hypocrite. Like I got to fucking do the same thing. That's why I've been getting more active in posting memes because like I want people to know I'm still here. Like here's my memes, whatever. But when it comes to music, the second someone posts on the erg family group chat, boom, I'll post it.
Mhm.
I want everyone else to do the same thing. They're not obligated to, but it's just a thought. Like we're all gonna eat. But we're all gonna help each other. Like when I saw the thing where that post on Threads where it was like, oh, this girl got to quit her job and stuff. Meanwhile, your friends that are trying to work are still struggling to make it.
To make it in music.
And it's like,
art.
dude, I 100% agree with that because, granted, I kind of shot myself in the foot years ago being inconsistent, and I started picking that back up now, which is doing really
Mhm.
well.
You're back on your path.
Back on that path. So it's like, not just with music, but with the podcast, like having another outlet where people are like, oh, he's still there. He's just posting crazy shit on the podcast, enjoying it. But like, I want people to have that same drive where they're going to continuously post.
Mhm.
And that's what I want them to have. And
it's sad too because I think about it. If it were in a different like timeline, wave, I don't know, but in our reality, everyone should be posting on social media and on YouTube. Like your YouTube channel was supposed to be for you to share who you are.
exactly.
But I think because they made it so much of like, I guess the artificial stuff where there's these influencers and then there's these marketing and advertising and business side to it. It's like I don't really want to do all that because I have to be like that. It's like no, that's how you succeed the most. That's how the Hawk 2 girl made it. It was
That's
just
accurate.
be you as much as you can.
Just be who you are.
And
Like
share.
you don't have to be a facade. Like
Mm-mm.
back to the whole Channing Green thing from the guy who did the Taste remix with me. When we go to LA, we were walking around to a store. What were we doing? One, we were kind of scouting Airbnbs. That was one thing. But another thing, he just wanted to go to LA. I think I still have the clip. But he was asking these two girls, these two white chicks, hey, you guys want to take a picture with me? And they're like, oh, no, thank you. Like, very, whatever. Then he
Fuck
proceeds.
y'all then. I don't even want to take a picture with you anyway.
Yeah, what to it? How about that? But he went from that to telling one of my good friends, Victor, yeah, these girls wanted to take a picture with me, and I said no. And I was gonna say something, but I was like, we're in the process of filming, so I was like looking at my watch, and I was like, nah, it's not the right time. But
You're capping. You're a capper.
and I wanted to be a dick and be like, really? Because
Yeah.
and whatever. I don't wish worse upon anybody. I wish nothing but success to people. But be who you are.
Yeah,
Not who like. If you want to be a successful artist, don't
Mhm.
say, "Oh, I'm here." Like, bro, it's not gonna be easy being somebody that you truly are. But I'd rather be who I am
Mhm.
than have to drop everything, move somewhere else, and be like, "This is who I really am." When in reality, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
It's
So
the
you already
truth.
gave all that up for nothing.
Yeah, and it's like everyone sees how I am with music. Everyone sees how I am as doing the podcast, being a host, doing all that stuff. Dude, I'm like loving it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like
You found something new that you really, really
I
like.
found something new where I was like, because I saw your podcast and you played a very crucial part in this, which is good because I saw your work. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I did the episode with you a while ago, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. Like I like that.
Mhm.
Then I started listening to my favorite podcasts: Two Bears, One Cave, Your Mom's House, Bad Friends, Theo Vaughn's. I forgot his name, the name of the podcast, but Theo Vaughn's podcast.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't want to do something strictly on one thing. I want to make it fun. Like
Yeah.
I want to shoot the shit. Like let's just sit back, get a cold one, shoot the shit. Like Jacob loves fucking Twisted Teas. And our first episode, him and I cracked a 3-pack of Twisted Teas. We were just fuck it, let's have
Chilling.
fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I want us to do is Jacob wants to do a beer Olympics. Okay, let's plan it out one episode. Do what?
There are no bad ideas here.
There's no bad ideas. Let's
Yeah.
have fun. Like we're making it safe. No one's getting hurt. Whatever. We're enjoying it. But I was like, okay, what we should do is we should plan the next episode. We should plan the beer Olympics, especially if you want to do this. Do 2 episodes, or 5 and 6, and then whatever episode 7, we could do the beer Olympics, or episode 6, whatever works.
Yeah.
And we just have to buy little microphones.
And
do it at
point
someone's
is,
house.
we're doing a fucking beer Olympics.
Yeah, it's like point is we're having fun.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He was like, dude, we got to do a beer Olympics. I was like, fuck, someone's gonna like eat shit. I already know what's gonna happen, but we've all had funny stories with each other being drunk. Like they still won't shut up about me getting drunk at Miguel's wedding, and I didn't even like. I wasn't drunk at the actual ceremony, obviously, like because we had to go. We went to a church. We quickly woke up, changed, went to the church for the wedding. That was beautiful. That was really fun. And then we went back to the hotel, and we were like, "What time do we have?" We're like, "Oh, we got a couple hours. It's okay. Use like 30 minutes to relax." Then we started cracking drinks. It was so bad, and we Ubered to where we had the reception, and I didn't make it like I talked shit and said I didn't make it like 30 minutes. They said I lasted about an hour, but the second the food came in, I didn't even eat the food. I just went back home, or I went back to the hotel.
It was already too much.
It was already too much. I gotta go. And what's funny is there's a picture of me it was me, Jacob, Miguel, and then our friend Javi, I think. And there's me, like just fucked up, dude. and I felt so bad because I didn't wake up with the hangover, which is funny. But I what's it called? Jacob brought a Black Label Johnny Walker, and I love whiskey. So I've never had Johnny Walker until that day, but I love whiskey. So we just had whiskey and Coke, and I don't drink soda much, like pretty much at all. But because I was already buzzed, they were pouring me Jack and Coke.
You need a little.
And I was pouring myself Jack and Coke. Let's be honest. But
I tried the other day. I mixed this. It was a coffee liquor, but with a root beer, and it was pretty good.
Ooh, you know what's really good? I learned this from I think it was Kenny. It was we're learning something. It was vanilla Coke or Jack Daniel honey with vanilla Coke.
Ooh, okay.
That's really
I can
good.
see it. I can imagine it.
I was like, ooh. And
I'm not much of a drinker, but that sounds
I'm
like
not
it
much.
tastes pretty
I
good.
used to be a heavy, like not like driving and drinking. Like obviously not. Like I'd be at home. I'd be at home just drinking whatever.
Chilling.
Now it's like, it's rare when I go out to drink. Like when we went to go watch the Dodger game at Lopez and Lefties, we had like 3 beers. That's it. We're enjoying the game,
and
the
it's
entire
just to
time.
spend time. It's not
It's just
really
spend
to
time.
get intoxicated.
Like next week, we're probably gonna be drinking more because we're at Jacob's house, like drinking and
healthy-ish relationship with
healthy-ish,
alcohol.
like just like fuck it.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we enjoyed the last
It's a
episode,
kickback.
and I'll probably edit the podcast before I head over there because I think we're meeting at 4, and I'm typically up in the morning on a Saturday, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're all planning it out and stuff, and again, it's been an incredible ride to say
Yeah.
the least about the podcast, the music stuff. Like those guys, like if it weren't for them, like that podcast would not happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of guy that like I plan a lot, but if it's just me like coordinating everything, I'll
get too
immediately
much.
I put too much and I'll accidentally put it on the back burner.
Right.
Those guys, Jacob specifically, I just want to get this thing done. Like, I'm just down to do it whenever. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, let's plan it first. So I coordinated the planning, and we did that together. And
Later on, you guys aren't even gonna need to plan. That's the cool thing.
that's how
you
it
get
is.
to sit, and then the topics come as you go.
yeah, and that's how it is, which is really fun to think about too. Because again, the guys don't have the mindset, and it's not a bad way. It's actually really dope because they're not putting a pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're just having fun. This is what we want to do.
It's new blood. It's like new artists when they're first emerging.
This is just a hobby right now for us, and we were having a very good conversation towards the end of the podcast where it was like, if this gets successful,
Mm-hmm.
we're still going to be the same people. Like if somebody stops us or like Miguel said it best. Miguel was like, I don't give a fuck if people stop me.
You're
Like,
gonna be the same person, but more.
yeah, like if somebody stops me and is like, hey, can I get a picture or whatever?
Yeah.
Miguel's like, of course I'm gonna stop by to get a picture. I'm gonna be like, fuck you. He's like, I'm not one of those people that are like the second success comes in, I'm gonna act somebody different. Miguel's
Right.
and Miguel is 100% on that because, dude, it's such a great feeling. This happened years ago. My friend Trevor was like, dude, somebody asked about, or somebody was listening to your music in fucking Santa Ana. And he goes, oh, yeah, I know him. I grew up with him. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, dude, that's so crazy to me because
What?
it's because I don't expect, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I don't expect anyone and everyone to know my music.
Right.
But it's always a great feeling when
When you-
somebody from somewhere else is just like listening to your stuff or they see you like, oh my God, like you do this. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
You're like, I remember when I did that.
I was
That's
like, oh,
crazy,
cool.
yeah.
All right, look at that.
You know about that?
Yeah.
What?
It's such a great feeling. Like people at my 9 to 5 found me on TikTok.
Yeah.
They found me on TikTok, and you know how on TikTok it's you have X amount of profile views, and you know those people. Some people you do. I saw a couple, and I'm like, oh God, these people are finding me, and it was my coworkers, or it was people that I work with, and they're just loving it.
Yeah.
And it's such a great thing when like I don't talk about it.
It's because they see you shine.
Yeah.
They see you in that spotlight, and at the same time, I wondered this about the same thing. Like, you guys could be here too. Mm-hmm. Go for it.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
that's honestly the best feeling is I think this is just from me being passionate about what I want to do is I think the podcast, anything that we do in the Erg family in general, whether it's my music, Ergy's music, Midnight's, my podcast, your podcast, all that stuff, we have the tools now to be like where we want to be. And it's just a matter of pushing. Don't let anything stop you. Just keep going. And those two guys, Miguel and Jacob, man, like I can't wait for you to meet them because, and again, it could be both you on our podcast, us on yours. Like, dude, they're such great people. They're just gonna shoot the shit.
Yeah.
They're enjoying it. They're like, they love the podcast.
And they love the podcast too, and I've learned it a lot. It's because humans, like, we love to talk.
Yeah.
We love expressing ourselves, but now we kind of shun away from that because we've been told, like, oh, don't say that. Oh, don't talk about this.
Oh, they don't give a fuck.
They're gonna look at you in a certain, like, and that's the good thing that they don't give a fuck.
So the first thing that
We'll
we
talk
said,
about anything, you know?
because I'm the paranoid one. I'm the 100% the paranoid one.
Why are you paranoid? What are you
Because
paranoid of?
because just again, and I have to learn. These guys are the ones that bring it out of me, where it's like, I don't give a fuck. So everyone that knows me personally knows I have zero malintent.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not one for confrontation. I know how to deal with confrontation. I just don't want to. But
And that's how most people who know how to deal with confrontation do.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, bro, they don't even say anything. It's, I'll deal with it if I have to deal with it.
yeah, and that's how I am. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I mean, all right, whatever.
Other than that, like, bro, I always bring this up. UFC fighters, most laid back people in the world.
And that's
you
the
know?
cool. The calmest people are always
Most
the
peaceful.
most dangerous. So, and Miguel said it first. Miguel that's what makes him the most like the one that's willing to get into confrontation, not like maliciously, but he'll fight back. But he's just like, again, if you don't like what we have to say, watch something else. He
Yeah.
goes, because we're not here to
Cater to you.
to cater to 1 or 2% of the people that view our stuff. If you're mad about what you saw, who gives a fuck? Go watch
There's
something
so many
else.
other things in the world that you could really, really be mad at.
Yeah.
But this right here, us talking bullshit.
Yeah,
not
so
something you should be mad at.
so they bring it out of me, and what's cool is a lot of people that know me personally and that don't know me personally are just like, dude, this is such a great episode.
Yeah.
And they watch it. They literally watch people at work. Oh, I'm like halfway through your second episode.
Yeah.
I was like, for the podcast? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, that's dope. And they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like
Everybody
everybody.
stronger too, like
Yeah.
being able to just speak whatever you want to speak. Because I've lost some friends because of the podcast or because of something I said on Twitter or like that they don't want to talk to me anymore. And I'm like,
And that's the thing is like
it's okay.
I don't genuinely care.
And my life hasn't changed, but I'm like, bro, I can literally say anything.
Yeah. It's
You know?
like cancel culture was one thing that we
Yeah.
talked about the most, and I talk about how cancel culture is the dumbest thing
Right.
because
You're
if
telling me I can't say that? Or
you're telling
what?
me I can't say that, and not only that, you're trying to ruin my job and my career just because of one thing that was whatever misinterpreted, or because I'm not exercising my First Amendment right to your
Yeah.
expectations.
That and it's
that
like
makes no
the-
sense.
The worst people making the judgment.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
there's people that. Here's the thing. This is why it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever said, and I don't care who tells me what. I think it's the dumbest thing. It's like if I tell you ABC and you say XYZ, and I'm like, no, it's ABC. What am I doing? I'm shutting down your right to speak, and I am battering you for it, or bombarding you with negativity and saying, why are you speaking right now? But then
It's manipulation, right?
if the tables turn on them, like, whoa, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's like, shut up. Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing: if black is supposed to be white and white is supposed to be black, vice versa, whatever, and there's certain people that don't fully understand. And again, this is not anything regarding politics or anything. It's just in general. I'm just kind of like, that's why I'm doing like ABC, XYZ, whatever, just to make it simple to people. But it's like, if it doesn't make sense to somebody, the proper way to tell somebody is to teach them.
Yeah, you don't. If you tell a kid, no, you're bad, and they're never gonna try it again, and that's where everyone is at. Was where we don't even want to try to talk to each other because we're
just
afraid of
wanna-
getting shut down.
And that's why, like, our generation, and it
Yeah.
sucks that we fall into this category just from our age, not from our mentality, but we by default fall into the generation that is the most ignorant generation. Like, everyone wants things handed to them. Everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to put that work in. Everyone wants to tell someone they're not entitled to their opinion, but they're entitled to their own opinion. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's like, I don't, it's just like, okay, like I have lyrics in my music that is like envelope pushing that people don't expect. And
Eminem just came up with his new song
yeah,
with Houdini.
and it's a great, it's like Slim Shady-esque vibes.
And he
And
said, "All right, Slim Shady's back to talk some shit."
and
Get ready.
it's like I'll never forget when people tried to cancel him for stuff from his old stuff. I'm like, that's the part that baffles me the most, because they're like, okay,
He really said that in the 1990s. Oh my
and it's
God.
like, first of all, it's 2024.
Yeah,
You
but
don't,
remember when he said that? Remember he said that?
who fucking cares?
Remember
Like,
he said about Kim, bro.
about Kim of all people, dude. But that will forever make me laugh, because it's like, no one's ever talked to me about it, because I actually have friends with common sense.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. But if I had a friend that was like that, I wouldn't like be a dick about it, but I'd be like, wait, you mean to tell me that, like, for example, who's a good comedian that was good back in the day? Eddie Murphy. Delirious. An amazing fucking special. You mean to tell me that you're going to cancel him for a
show he
comedy special he did years ago?
And he did it really well.
And he
And
did-
received it really well.
From the time before I was born and before that person was born? You mean to tell me you're going to try to cancel something that was God knows how long ago?
Yeah.
I was like,
And
why
it's
are
a
you...
great moment for him and the people there.
Yeah, and you're not only that, but you're allowing someone, or you're trying to take someone's fame away and their success away, because they were allowed to do that back in the day.
Yeah.
Not saying it's right now. He can't do the same special that he does now. He could do it differently. Gabriel Iglesias said it too, and I praise him for it.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
That, and if also, like, if you're getting mad about something you saw, like, you need to go and hone in your emotional intelligence, you know? Calm down a little bit, because you should
saw,
Yeah.
little, you know,
go touch some grass, chill out.
go touch some for real, dude. Smoke a blunt. I don't know what to tell
No,
you.
hey, if it gets you to it,
Smoke a fucking blunt. I don't know what to
there's
tell you.
nothing that should be really getting you mad. In the Bible, it says that you shouldn't judge others, and if you do judge others, you better judge yourself first.
Correct.
Because everyone, if you're saying some shit about somebody else, look at yourself in the mirror for a little bit, because
Yeah.
you're not that great either.
And the thing for me is, like, I don't really, like, obviously, if there's people we have a lot of people in the world that do heinous and malicious things. I'm not saying that they have the right to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that they deserve to burn in hell, because it's like, why are you going out purposely hurting people and doing all that stuff? I'm a peaceful human being. I used to be petty as fuck, but I'm a very peaceful human being now. I'm at the point in my life where I'm getting older, and it's like I'm barely gonna be 27 next month.
What do
But
you think has gotten you more towards that peace at this stage of your life?
being around people with the same mindset.
Okay.
I used to be around people with the worst mindset, where going out partying a lot. Oh, someone said something about me. Okay, I'm gonna tell them
Automatically
something.
fight.
And not like fight, but like I would press them on social media, but we never saw each other in person, which was so stupid.
Surrounded by altercation and drama.
And it's just like whatever. Now
Yeah.
it's like, again, that's why Kenny's such a big brother to me, where it's like he's gonna be like, don't be stupid. He'll straight up tell me, don't be fucking dumb.
And you're like, yeah, you're right. You're
I'm like, all right,
being a
whatever.
fucking dumbass right now. I'm sorry.
He used to
You're
tell
good.
me that like all
Thank
the
you for that.
time, and now he's like, you know what you're doing. Like he's again, that's why like I have mostly sisters out of my actual siblings, but meeting Kenny was like a big brother, another big brother, I should say, because he'll tell me like, don't be dumb. Like, why are you being petty? And I was like, because they said so. He's like, who cares? Like, and he would tell me that all the time. Now he doesn't have to tell me that, where he's just like, all right.
He's
like,
seen the maturity.
hey
in
guys,
you. It's like, I don't even
he
need
goes,
to tell
because
him.
you handle your own. Like you're not trying to start problems with anybody. If they start problems with you, like, well, whatever, dude. Because you can handle your own physically.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't need to dive into that rabbit hole, you know. And that's what I had to learn too. Like the podcast, if people get sensitive about the podcast, okay. Like, I'm sorry that it didn't exceed your expectations, but it sure as hell exceeded thousands of people's expectations that watch it on TikTok, watch it on YouTube, and watch it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
They love the shorts. They listen to the podcast. They love the podcast. They're subscribing to it.
And people forget that it isn't written down.
It's not.
It's like whatever we say, it came out in this moment of time.
It's
and it
very
was-
like
you
on
guys
the
saw it.
fly. Like the only thing that is written are the topics that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And
But how
it's-
the topics are delivered is completely off the bat.
yeah, it's like we're not saying, oh, you should say this and this, because the beauty of having an organic conversation, or in this case a podcast, is
Dialogue.
everything that is talked about. Like literally right before right when I came in, we didn't discuss what we're talking about. We're just talking about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Same for the podcast that I do. It's like for the roast podcast, we have the topics written down, but we're not fucking, okay, we're going to talk about this first. No, like we'll just talk about, like I literally changed it.
Yeah.
The day that I told them that I didn't hit record.
It has to be really flexible.
It's just like I was like, I'm changing the topic. Hold on, and because I share the notes with them, and they're busting up laughing that I put the thing says Jay fucked up, and because I didn't hit record, and I was like, that's a beautiful way to start the episode, because we're all ragging on me, including myself, ragging on me about it, and we're busting up laughing, and we're just like, okay. Now this is 3.5. So we're all making it funny, because
Yeah.
no one's upset. No one's mad. If anything, it was by far the funniest thing. I was only mad in the moment because it was just a hectic day.
Yeah.
But I was like, you ever have one of those days where like you're just annoyed, frustrated,
You just want something to go right.
and
so
then
everything can
something like tiny, just like I don't know, like something falls over and you're just like, oh. And then you can't even be mad anymore. You're just like laughing. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever. That's how it was.
Yeah, I
Where
get it.
everything was just piled on. I'm irritated. People are pissing me off. And then I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna edit. And then it just, okay. And then when Kenny calls me, and that's when he heard my whole rant. And and it was just like the fucking, I don't know which Planet of the Apes movie, but that meme with the monkey. Oh no. It was like that.
I think it's the newest one, no?
It's no, it was the one before that. I forgot.
The War of the Planet of the Apes.
War of the Planet of the Apes, where the monkey's just like, oh no. It's like that, dude. And they were messing with me the entire time recording that episode. We're like, oh no, like you didn't hit record.
You got to put that on a shirt.
I do now. We have to definitely plan merch out for the roast. They want to do it, but they're also not in a rush to do it, because we want to see how everyone's reacting to.
Yeah, I see. All that merch, like even with me, the merch stuff and all that other stuff, don't even focus on that until like way later when it's time. I think.
Yeah.
Focus on how you present yourself in front of the camera.
That's how it is right now.
Yeah.
Like, because we were planning it, like, again, I plan far ahead.
Uh-huh.
But if it's like when we did our first meeting, okay, what time are we going to go to the studio? What time? How many hours are we doing for a session? How many of this? How many of that? Like how many topics per episode? And then we brought up merch, and I was like, I think it's a good idea to keep that in mind,
Because it's gonna have to happen.
but we're gonna move it over here. And they were like, they all agreed. They're like, they both agree. They're like, yeah, it's a good idea, because if we continuously build every single episode, we're getting good reactions out of it, good results, good views. We're starting to build our portfolio.
Mhm.
then it's like, okay, you guys asked for it. Now we have official Roast Podcast t-shirts.
Right.
And Miguel, he likes to draw and all that stuff. Very good artist with that. And he was like, I already started doing like a random like logo and stuff for the roast, because mine was just a random generic logo, but it worked because everyone loves it. But now it's like he wants to, like, we're all changing things up.
He wants
like
to customize it.
Yeah, he wants to customize the intro is going to probably be changed in due time, just for the sake of keeping it refreshing every time. So we'll see how that goes. And all around though, I see now how it is with the podcast. It's fun because we're just like, okay, like, let's fucking kill it, dude. And on top of that, I just realized that before I forget that, I saw your guys' work with the Champion series.
I was gonna ask you, you're gonna be next in the Champion series, aren't you?
I am.
Episode 2. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. So I was hesitant at first, not for anything bad. It's just I wanted to fix myself with music. I needed to work on the album. I got the podcast in a way. So I
and you
felt
said
like
your writer's block.
So I didn't really had much time, and not only that, but like I was like everywhere.
So how did you write your verse for? Did you already write your verse for the cipher?
I didn't get the beat yet.
Oh,
I gotta get the beat. So, but I was waiting. So I was like, all right, cool. But at the same time, I'm not impatient about it. I'm like, okay, cool. Midnight had called me, and I was like, I'm on my computer. So like, hold on, let me pull up my notes real quick.
If you guys don't know what the Champion series is, it's a cipher rap competition that we're doing between me, Ergie, and Midnight, and we're having a whole bunch of artists come on. It's 4 episodes. We got 4 artists in each episode, and it goes like a tournament. Boom, 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 out of a cipher. So whoever does the best in every single episode moves on to the next round, to the next round, to the champion, and they get the belt for the Champion series. And he's going to be on it. If you guys haven't seen the first cipher, go check it out. Back to the podcast.
Yeah. I like to plug Champion series. But yeah, Midnight. So he wanted me to be in the first one, and I kind of just said, ask me again in a different time, just because I have a lot going on. So I was like, do what you have to do. Don't wait for me. And it did really well. I saw what you guys done, dude. It looked fantastic in terms of the production stuff. Diamondback killed it. Good friend of mine. All the other artists I don't know personally, but they all killed it. They all killed it in their own right. But Midnight had brought it up to me again, and I was like, fuck it. Let's do it.
Let's
and
do
he
it.
goes, so you're down? I was like, I'm down.
So what was holding you back? Why didn't you want to do it?
Nothing bad. It's just when I had the podcast, like doing all that, and then plus I had just gotten into a new role with my 9 to 5, so I was extremely busy. So I'm no longer hourly, I'm salary. So I'm like completely like my hours are just everywhere right now, just because I was filling that role. But I wanted to make sure that I had my full and undivided attention for the series for when I'm in it. So that was the only reason. And I wanted to see how it would be without me first. So it was a good idea to be like, okay, let me prioritize the podcast, the album real quick, because the album had constantly gotten pushed back just because a lot of stuff was setting back. Nobody's fault. It was just, just time. There's times where stuff gets curveballs and you have to kind of push it back. But when I saw it, I was like, oh man, like I love that. That's really good. The production's good. The location was amazing. Every artist was fully engaged. And I loved it. So when Midnight had asked me, I was like, okay, he's very consistent when it comes to asking again. So, and he's my boy. So of course I was like, ask me again in a later time, just because I'm not ready. I don't want you guys to hold off your guys' project for me. I want you guys to solidify it, get yourself out there, do it. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's good. And then when it was brought up to me again, I was like, hey, I brought it up to Kenny because we're working on the album. And I was like, I think this might be a good time now.
Yeah.
So
you're going to go hard on the Champion series?
Oh, yeah. Fucking balls to the wall, dude.
I'm ready, dude.
I just got to wait for the beat. I also got to send it out to, or text Midnight and be like, hey, let me know when you guys send the beat out. I don't know if you guys had sent it out yet, did you?
I have no idea. I don't even know what the beat sounds like.
I don't even know either. So I'm just here. So, but again, no matter what, I just told him to shoot me a text that we can get it going. That makes it easier, because although I'm not performing at ErgFest, and that was my choice to say I don't want to perform, not because I don't really want to, I would love to, but I would be an artist that's there for the third time. You got to give room for other artists
After the show.
I'll hop on there, dude.
Bro, a post-concert after the concert?
Fucking after party.
After party?
Dude, I would have way too much fun.
Let's do it.
Summer bangers. Ergy. Do it. Ergy and friends. We'll do like a Kendrick pop out or whatever.
September 13th, ErgFest. If you guys listen to the podcast, tune up.
You know
tune
the
in.
vibes. You know the vibes. See, I'm pointing at all the cameras. This one's not even looking.
ErgFest.
But I told Ergy what we're gonna do in September 13th. But I had a lot of fun talking about that because I already got the merch like already made.
Yeah,
Like not fully made, but the design. So that'll be fun because
Yeah.
I took it off of Ergy's plate. Said, "Give me it."
I got this.
At first I was gonna use Adrian, but Adrian's just as busy.
Yeah,
and I was
he's
like,
super busy.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that off of his plate because he's doing touring, he's doing his own thing. I don't want to bombard him with stuff. And
What a
Adrian-
set of brothers, huh?
Yeah, what is
like-
that, dude? They're
they're
fucking
freaking
hustlers,
crazy.
man. I love Adrian too. Adrian's really funny. Like
Yeah.
when he didn't think I was gonna pull up to his house and get a ticket to go watch his show. And he's like, "You're going?" I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm here for." So I just grabbed tickets from his house, and it was a lot of fun. I felt so out of place, but it was really fun. Midnight was moshing. Ergy was moshing. Ergy was moshing and gave himself a headache. One guy was charging at me, bro. I was like, "No, get away from me!" Because I don't mosh pit at all. I'm not in that fucking area. But
I'll watch.
as someone starts charging, I'm like, oh no. I'm like this, bro, because if I got hit in the face, then I'm like, okay, hold my glasses. Someone's getting fucked up. But I was like, no. But it was a fun thing. I was really proud of Adrian for his band and his band, Wave of Discord, to be there. And but again, I didn't want Adrian to get all of that stuff and be like, hey, can you make this for me? So, which I should have thought that before, but again, there's so many reliable sources now. I contacted my guy Jake, who does my cover art.
Right.
So he did the cover art for 9400. He did the cover art for
So
the
he
new
already
album.
knows your style. Yeah.
So all I have to do is send him an idea.
Yep.
He's like, "What do you have in mind?" This is what I'm thinking. Okay, go. Give me a minute.
Sick. I'm imagining it like it's a movie.
And-
All right. What do you want on it?
But dude, every design he sends me,
Give me 10 minutes. I'll get back to you.
literally, dude, oh my god, man. I'm trying to send him more people too because I think he is married now and he's such a good dude, man. He took care of me he made the album cover for 9400. He did Blackheart. He did Ichiban. He did both Ichibans. And then he also did my new album, Preach to Midnight Mass. So he did all of those albums for me and all those covers for me. And I paid him, make sure he was taken care of. This one I'm paying him more because one, it's a t-shirt design. Two, it's gonna be physically sold to people. And three, it's something different. So
Right.
he's doing front and back designs.
Ooh,
So
okay.
we did it correctly. We worked together. I sent it to Kenny and Ergy and said, let me know if there's changes. We made the changes
When you
accordingly.
go through the printing process, take me with you because I want to learn about that part too.
I got to see exactly what we have to do. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do it this time because I saw how Ergy was when he did the first shirts for ErgFest. Well, I didn't see him, but I was told how long it took for them. Granted, I would have had a field day with it, but knowing how busy I am, I probably would have been like, this is a lot. So I either might hit up Miguel's friend who does shirts or go to a third party and do it to be like, hey, can you guys, here's my design. Here's the amount of shirts I just bought.
Hey, bro, I got siblings.
I-
It's not child labor if they're your siblings.
That's true. I think it's like sibling bonding.
Something like that.
I get my little sister too. She's only
it's
17.
bonding times.
No, my little sister's 17. She's gonna be asking me for like, how much is this gonna be? It's like, I'll get you
Oh,
Starbucks.
this is the real
bro.
world.
I was like, I'll get you Starbucks. We'd be like, okay.
Oh,
But-
see, that works. That works.
There's Starbucks for my little sister. But yeah, this shirt's gonna be really nice. Again, it's something different for ErgFest.
And
now
for the
that-
Champion Series
and for the
too.
Champion Series. So doing all of that, and then on top of that, the album and the podcast. This is like a whole new set of content.
I'm excited
So
too.
I'm extremely
It's not even
happy.
it's not even content. It's just like a whole new set for you to play with.
Oh, dude, it's just like, ooh, I get to fuck around with this.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I never did any ciphers with anybody.
You gotta
Nothing
embrace
like-
that little.
Oh, you know
kid
what?
in
I did. I lied. I did do one with Midnight and my friend Justin, aka J Robots. We did one in LA,
Yeah.
and that one did well.
I think I saw it.
That one did really well. And got to network and do stuff like that. And then now that's when they told me about the Champion Series, and I was like, let's do it. Like when Midnight finally hit me up again, I was like, all right, let's do it together. Let's enjoy every bit of this. And have a good time. And now once that beat comes in, I'll write to it. We'll get a recording out there and get it done. I'm actually excited, man.
I'm excited for you. Everything you're about to produce,
Everything's gonna be fun.
everything you create.
The podcast is gonna be fun per usual. ErgFest is gonna be fun. I'm not up
Championships is
there.
gonna be fun. Jake
Champions-
Bowers is gonna be fun.
I'm gonna enjoy every bit of it. And I told Kenny, I was like, after this album's done, let's just do summer bangers, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, let's start making
Let
summer
loose.
bangers and just start having fun. And he goes, I'm down. He wants to do a function type beat. And after we listen to like Not Like Us,
Yeah, I was about to say that West Coast beat that we were talking about. That's what might.
I
be
told him
on-
like we
on
got
the
to do
come
something
up.
like that. And did you watch that music video?
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen some clips of it, but it's pretty cool.
A lot of good references. Very, very entertaining.
fun.
I'm a sucker for Easter eggs or seeds that are planted, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, only if you know, you know.
exactly. And not only that, but there was a snippet of a new song at the beginning of the music video. And I'm like, ooh. And I know what he sampled. I know what Kendrick Lamar sampled. It was Debbie Deb. It was a song by Debbie Deb. I just don't know if it was When I Hear Music or I think it might be that one. But the beat and the song is incredible. So I would immediately, like when you hear it, you're like, oh, dude, I would check it out.
Yeah,
Right after
I'm
this,
gonna-
you got to check it out.
I will.
But
I've been meaning to. I just haven't clicked on the video.
dude, it's great. The music video is great. I think it's only been like one day.
It's been like
2 days, and it's already got like 20 million.
Wow, crazy. I expected it though.
But you know what though, Kendrick
After that,
won. Kendrick won that battle.
He told Drake to shut the fuck up.
Pretty much, dude.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like, I think Drake's DJ played it while Drake was performing, and Drake got mad. And it's like, hey man,
I saw this video of these like elementary school kids, and they're like at some school dance or something, and the DJ plays. They're not like us, right? And everyone's like, certified lover boy, certified pedophile. These are like 7 to 10-year-old kids
Oh,
singing
dude.
those lyrics.
I would laugh hysterically if I saw that. But I
Imagine
know that
A minor screaming out A,
A
minor.
No, dude. Oh my God, Kendrick Lamar is a fucking fiend on that, dude. He what's it called? He did hopscotch on the he played hopscotch while they were saying A minor. Dude, legendary.
Yeah.
But I want to do something like that, like a West Coast vibe. And I'm just like, dude, I cannot wait to see. Apparently he might, I don't know. I hope he does an album that is all function.
You guys should do a cipher with like everybody on it, but a fun beat like that.
Dude, I want everyone in Erg family on board. I would
Yeah.
love to do that. I would love to produce it. I would love to have fun with it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Anyone that's on the Erg family that sees this, and it's because I'm most likely going to post the link. If not, you'll post the link in the chat.
Yep.
I want everyone to be a part of it.
Yep. Let's do it.
Me,
Something legendary.
Midnight, Ergy, Omari Shaw, Kelly Kell,
Everybody.
everybody in there. Everybody in there. So if you guys see this, you guys hear it, I need
If
you
your
in that
name is
cypher.
on the wall at Erg Studios, we want you on it.
If your name has in chalk, you're in there, dude. I need them in that. But yeah, dude, honestly, but on top of this, this is really fun to do. Obviously, I'm always good to be in episodes with you. But on top of that, dude, I'm so excited to see what's to come for us for
Yeah.
the episodes. And of course, I'm always proud of you guys for doing what you're doing with the podcast, with the Champion Series now. And I'm excited that we get to flourish in other things like, you know, my podcast now, doing the album, being a part of the Champion Series, working on the production side and the merch side and advertising for ErgFest. So I'm really excited for what's to come for us, dude.
I'm really excited too. Thank you so much for coming. I'm
course,
excited
bro.
to be on your podcast next.
Dude, I can't wait to put you on. It's gonna be funny as
It's so
hell.
cool having more podcast friends.
Dude, when we'll get everything set up. We'll do it in the conference room, or we'll do it in the studio, depending on how much room we have. We might do it in the conference room just for the sake of more room, but I think it's gonna be funny regardless.
Heck yeah, I'm down. No
just
matter
be
where it's
prepared.
at, I'm down.
But I think you'll love the guys, Miguel and Jacob. Again, I know that they'll love every bit of it, and you know they're enjoying every bit of the episodes and the show in general and the project we have. I think they're gonna love it. And again, you never know what's bound to happen. People are gonna see it. The right people are gonna see it. They're gonna love it. I think that we have the opportunity to all be successful for it.
Yeah,
So,
bro. I'm excited to meet them too. I'm excited to meet everybody for your podcast.
dude, you're gonna love it.
It's gonna be so much fun.
You're gonna see how genuine it is too. You're gonna once we hit record, okay, like just
Let's
fucking
go.
full
Let's do
fledged,
it.
throwing blows, fucking with each other the entire time. But again, thank you for having me on this episode.
That's been episode 82 of the podcast.
See, I barely finished 3.5.
Hey,
3.
we're gonna get it rolling, bro.
It's okay. Blink of an eye, we'll be at episode like 60.
It
or
really is
whatever.
like that. It really
It
is
is a
like
level.
that,
We'll
trust.
level it up, dude.
A lot of editing, a lot of work, but it's all worth it. It's so much fun.
Honestly, I just can't wait. I know Kenny will send me the audio, and then that's when I just start cutting. I might start cutting tomorrow and start getting the video out of the way because I could line it up, and then once I get the audio, it'll just fill in.
Right.
But
I would wait.
you think so?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. No.
Trust me, it's gonna save you a whole headache afterwards.
And I always keep the intro. I might make a new intro and a new outro, but I think it'll be funny regardless, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it. But again, man, thank you for having me, and
Thanks for coming on.
can't
bro.
wait to have you on the roast, man.
Yeah, go check out the Roast podcast. It's with my guy Jay Bowers. Go check out his music. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at jbowers97. You can find the Roast Pod at the Roast Pod on Instagram and YouTube. And we don't have a TikTok yet for the Roast Pod right now. It's on my actual TikTok at the J Bowers. So again, we're doing well. We're having fun with it. It's always a fun thing. They're always very grateful. The guys are very grateful. But yeah, there's definitely more to come for the roast and for the Kickback podcast. So enjoy.
Yeah, so make sure to you guys like and subscribe. You guys are listening to us on our audio listening platforms. Come over to YouTube. Check us out. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. This has been Jay Bowers, episode 82. Let's go.
Let's go.
See you guys on the next one.
Little boy with a wrist that, name